Hey guys, it is time to talk about a great fantasy romance heading your way in February. Stay tuned to find out what it is. Hey guys, if you are new here, welcome to the Book Path. I'm Nicole, and if this isn't your first rodeo, thanks for sticking around. So we have a new book in our coming soon series. We are talking advanced reading copies that we get that if I am able to get them in enough advance, they become part of this coming soon. So I can let you guys know what to be on the lookout in the next few months as these books get released. This was a book that I ended up reading for my Magical Readathon Year in a Rillium Challenge, which was to read a romance read at this time. And I didn't give too much of a synopsis or my thoughts in that video because I wanted to share them with you in this one. I don't know which video is going up first. It will see. I'm going to try to get this one out first. But the book that I ended up reading was The Rose Bargain by Sasha Peyton Smith. This book comes out February of 2025. Highly, highly recommend picking it up. If you are a fan of fantasy romance, if you are a fan of competition, if you are a fan of Once Upon a Broken Heart and Bridgerton, because this is like if both of those had a baby. This was fantastic. I ended up giving it 5 stars. I am really looking forward to this and the sequels that are going to come out because wonderful. Basically, you have this world where at the very beginning, this setup just pulled me in because you have the end of the War of the Roses and you have Edward IV out on there and he's on the battlefield and this woman emerges and you can tell right away she's not of this world and she is a fae queen. And basically Edward IV promises, you know, if like he basically makes a bargain with the fae queen to win the War of the Roses and become king. Although, as fae bargains go, he doesn't stipulate for how long he wants to reign, and shortly after he wins and is crowned king, he passes, and the fae queen takes over, and now you have this kind of alternate England where the fae queen rules, and she's been ruling for centuries. And basically, when everybody comes of age, they are able to go to the fae queen and make a bargain with the fae queen, and she will take something from you. So most of the girls will make something, make a bargain for something that helps them get a husband, because this is kind of, I got the feeling it was like Regency era, like Regency era to Queen Victoria times, but I want to say more Regency era in the way that it was done. So like Bridgerton. And most of them will make like, I want to be prettier, or I want to be better at the piano, or I want to be more learned, or I want to be, you know, more, you know, whatever that's going to land them a man. And they'll do things like give up their fingernails or give up one of their toes or one of their fingers. Like it's really weird and random. But basically during the ceremony where they are supposed to present for the season, you now have a twist. The fae queen's son, the prince, who is set to inherit the throne, is an eligible bachelor. And so there are going to be signups to compete for the prince's hand in marriage. And basically, should you fail, you end up basically giving up your right to be an eligible girl for marriage. You will inevitably become a spinster. You are not allowed to marry afterwards. So it's very interesting because obviously you're living in a time where marriage is everything for these women. Okay. So you have the main character who is Ivy, and basically what's going on with Ivy is her family has kind of fallen out. They were very well-to-do, and her older sister ends up making a bargain, and nobody knows what the bargain is. Her sister has disappeared. Ivy is out looking for her sister, and she stumbles upon, like, she almost gets hit by a carriage, and you find out that this is the brother to the prince. This is the other prince, but they're not like really brothers. They sort that out in the story. But he's kind of the one that has the playboy background, and he's a little bit more like meaner and has the attitude. And of course, you know, we're all gonna love him. So he stumbles upon her, asks her what she's doing. They kind of talk. He gives her a ride home. And that night, her sister reappears. Only she can't remember where she's been or what's been going on. So Ivy has this ambition that her bargain that she's gonna make with the Fae Queen is to try to undo what her sister's bargain was in hopes that it'll give her back her memories and things like that. But she also wants to lift the standing of her family. And so when it is announced that you can be part of this competition to get the prince, she sees that as her only way. And if not, well, then she doesn't have to be forced into a marriage. So not like a lot of people were looking her way anyway because of what's going on in her family. So it's kind of works out for her either way. She has nothing to lose. So she goes and she signs up, and the prince, of course, is handsome and sweet and kind and just, you know, everything wonderful. That's why all the girls want to love him. And she ends up becoming part of this competition, and the competition right away gets whittled down to like these 6 girls. And so it starts to kind of become a little bit Bachelorette in the time of Bridgerton. And the queen is putting these girls through their paces, and not just like testing them or quizzing them on how to be like a human queen. She's giving them fae games. And if you read a lot of fae stories, there are some where the fae are not so nice and they can be twisted and their games can be twisted. And this is that scenario, and the situations that these poor girls get themselves in is everything. And you do start to learn, what I loved is within the book, most of it is told from the viewpoint of Ivy, but there are a few chapters given from the perspective of the other 5 girls, I guess, because there's 6 in total. So the other 5 girls, and you get the reasoning of why they're in the competition. So you do kind of feel bad for them, but you do also still want Ivy to win. And all in the background, you have Ivy and the prince kind of hitting it off. He's very intrigued by her. But she's starting to feel feelings for Emmett, the prince's brother, who has kind of struck a bargain with her, because Emmett, even though he's the prince's brother, he doesn't have really any ambitions for being king. He wants Ivy to win, so that way both of them can basically bring down the Fae Queen and her reign, because they're not a fan of the bargains. They're not a fan of the power that she's going. They feel much more that the brother, the Fae Prince, would be a better candidate to rule over this human world, and that there would be some changes. And so they're kind of working on that behind the scenes, and obviously romance is starting to bud, so that there's kind of a love triangle. It was really good. It had tied me in. I felt for these characters. It had like these kind of just elements that very much felt like Once Upon a Broken Heart, with the dynamics between Ivy and Emmett. And then you kind of had this world. The world wasn't as magical as the one in Once Upon a Broken Heart, but you still felt that there was something different. When it gets to the clinch point and stuff starts to happen, and all chaos breaks loose and nothing's what it seems. You start getting hints where you think you might know what's been going on with the sister and who might be involved a little bit early on, like not early on, but like halfway through the book. And when you find out what's been going on and you see who, you know, the big reveal and all that stuff, you're like, oh, wow, interesting. Leaves off on a cliffhanger, pulled you in. 5 stars. 5 stars. Like I said, I liked them. I liked the characters. I like that throughout the book, as things start to turn, you do end up having these girls form a very close-knit, almost found family dynamic where they are going to fight for one another and stick up for one another. And I really did enjoy that, because these are girls that they're just kind of thrown into society, and the kind of society that we expect at that time, where they are pawns. And so they're trying to find their freedoms and what their freedoms look like, and build on their strengths and lean on one another. And I liked that. And you do see, you know, Emmett and the sorrow of his past with him and his father, and how that has affected him, and all through this queen's reign. And then what you find out about the queen and about what had been going on in the fae world, and just everything, like worlds collide. And so it built up well. It was good. The characters were well done. The details to like the gowns and the food and just kind of those elements of society were very well done. Like, highly, highly praise this book. So comes out February 2025. Recommend picking up a copy. Cannot wait already for the sequel of this book. So yeah, I am so grateful to being sent a copy. So thank you to the author. Thank you to the publisher for sending me a copy of this. I adored it. I loved it. Chef's kiss from me. And once again, look forward to reading more from this author and more in this series. So final time, The Rose Bargain, Sasha Peyton Smith, comes out February 2025. Perfect for if you're going to be participating in Pharaoh Feb. This would be quite a good book to pick up for fantasy romance. So let me know your thoughts if you are interested in it. If you're going to pick it up, great for you. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.